With SharePoint Server 2010 comes the introduction of the ribbon. If you work with 2007 Microsoft Office system client applications, such as Word or PowerPoint, you're probably already familiar with the ribbon. The ribbon is designed to help you quickly find the commands that you need to complete your tasks. While several commands are available on both the ribbon and on the drop-down menu for a particular document, using the ribbon makes it easier and more efficient to work with documents in a library. To demonstrate this, let's select a library that contains documents in both versions and see how they compare. To create documents in folders or to upload documents in SharePoint 2007, you would use the New and Upload drop-down menu. As part of the ribbon experience in SharePoint 2010, these commands on the ribbon work in a similar way. In SharePoint 2007, checking documents in and out could only be done on individual items. Now, in SharePoint 2010, you can multi-select several documents at one time and check them in or out as a group. Viewing and editing document properties can now be done using the ribbon commands. A new SharePoint 2007 feature enables you to declare an item in a list or library as a record for records management purposes. In SharePoint 2007, users had trouble managing permissions. In 2010, the permission management commands are grouped together on the ribbon and include buttons that help you check permissions on the site and grant permissions to users. Associating workflows to documents and managing the approval and publication of documents is now accomplished in the Workflows group of the ribbon. Unlike in SharePoint 2007, SharePoint 2010 provides all the commands related to workflows in one place. Two new feature commands on the ribbon allow you to mark or tag items that are of interest to you. The I Like It command makes it easier to remember links and post items to your newsfeed, and the Tags and Notes command helps you classify items and make public your comments about them. Now let's look at some things you can do using the ribbon when working with the Documents library. The commands that existed on the Site Actions menu in SharePoint 2007 are now located on the ribbon. As you can see, the commands are available in groupings that make sense. You can select the view format, standard or datasheet, right from the ribbon. Creating and managing views used to be accessed from the Settings menu. Now they are conveniently located on the Manage Views group. Previously in SharePoint Server 2007, the Alert Me and RSS Feed commands were accessible by way of the Actions menu. In SharePoint 2010, the Alert Me and RSS Feed commands are in the Share and Track group. There are two new commands on the ribbon: Sync to SharePoint Workspace, which enables you to create a synchronized copy of a library on your computer, and Connect to Office, which enables you to add, remove, and manage shortcuts to a library on Office client applications. The Open with Windows Explorer, Connect to Outlook, and Export to Spreadsheet commands, previously accessed by the Actions menu, can all now be found in the Connect and Export group of commands on the ribbon. Let's look at two additional commands on the ribbon. If you have SharePoint Designer installed, the Edit Library command can be used to edit library settings, add or remove columns, and create views, forms, workflows, and actions, all from SharePoint Designer. You can also modify forms associated with the document library by adding, removing, or customizing form web parts. Lastly, you can manage both library and workflow settings here, and instead of managing permissions from the drop-down menu as you did in the 2007 version, you can now do this right from the ribbon. The comparison with list commands between SharePoint 2007 and SharePoint 2010 is similar to that of the Documents library. There are some new commands, however, that I'd like to point out. Just as in SharePoint 2007, you can still open a list using Access. In SharePoint 2010, you can open up a list using Visio, and you can view tasks in Project, as long as you have those applications installed on your system. Just as with the Documents library, you can edit lists using SharePoint Designer, as long as the application is installed on your system. There is so much more you can do now when editing and working with text for blogs and web pages, for example. In SharePoint 2007, you were limited to what this text editor panel could do for you. Now, using the ribbon, you can use more advanced features such as having more control over font selection, style and size, spell checking, text layout options, and markup styles. Notice that Live Preview enables you to see how something will look before committing to the change. It's also a lot easier to insert reusable content and web parts. If we click the Insert tab on the Editing ribbon, we see that there is a command for almost any object or item we might want to insert onto a page. I do want to highlight several new features that the ribbon makes available to you. Inserting a picture is easier now. You can select a picture from your computer or the network and insert it without leaving the page. Clicking the Video and Audio command inserts the new silver